It was the summer after the lockdown, and we said like, oh, it's a dog or a baby. So I was like, let's go baby first. And yeah, we got pregnant quite quickly. Obviously it was COVID, so we couldn't see anyone. So we just had a little quiet Christmas, and then we went for the scan, and it was really quiet for what felt like a long time. And I was just like staring at the ceiling, and she was like, there is a heartbeat, but, and like, obviously in that second, like my heart just sunk. She was like, oh, unfortunately there's a lot of fluid at the back of his neck and some quite severe abnormalities. We will have to get fetal medicine to re-scan you. They put us in that room, the room that you put into, that no one obviously wants to go in. And we were just sat there until we were told we could be scanned at 1 o'clock. This was 9:30. A consultant specialist scanned us, and she said, yeah, I can see what she's seen, and unfortunately the baby has what looks, she said there was a couple of things. So his skull hadn't formed, sort of come together, so his brain was exposed, which I believe they call anencephaly, and his tummy, sort of stomach wall hadn't come together, so his organs were on the outside. She said these two conditions are highlighters of Edwards syndrome. A baby with Edwards syndrome wouldn't survive. I was like, right, I'll take a tablet and go home. And she was like, you can't, you need to be in hospital. I could go through labour and delivery, so be induced, go through labour and delivery, or have what they call a D&C, so they basically go in and I think clear your womb. But D&C wasn't really an option if you wanted to have genetic testing. So the only option was to go through labour and delivery and be induced. They did say we could look around the bereavement suite, so the room we would be in, which we did, and like a lovely midwife showed us around, but from 9 o'clock that morning to like 3-4 o'clock was just, couldn't be any further from what we would have expected. I wish we had met with the bereavement midwife or the bereavement services as soon as we'd had the outcome of the scan. It was all just very clinical. It was very much, you will take this pill, you'll come back in 48 hours, Wednesday morning your induction's booked for 9 a.m, you will then be induced. I wish maybe someone had called the day we were at home in limbo land, just waiting for things to happen. I thought it was going to be crying, screaming, giving birth. It was going to be awful, but actually it was so peaceful, and it was as lovely as it could have been. The midwife was amazing. Like, she stayed with us all day. She left us to have our moments if, you know, nothing was really happening. She came whenever I buzzed her and needed her, and she was just lovely. And I feel like sad that I never met him, because I didn't want to see him. I didn't want that image in my head. I didn't want to feel any worse than I felt. Like, I knew it was going to be distressing. But I would have 100% done it differently had I known how to do it differently though. They did actually take a photo of his hand, even though I said I wanted nothing. So obviously I'm so grateful for that. I texted my midwife a couple of days later saying, how long will I feel like this? I can't feel like this forever. And she rang me, I think, and said, did I want to be put in touch with the maternal mental health midwife? And I said, yeah, I think so. Like, I don't know what I want, but I need to do something. Anna, she was called, she rang me maybe the next day. She was just lovely, she just listened. And just said, like, this is so normal. Like, I just wanted to know it was normal. I wanted to know that crying all day long was normal. And yeah, she just said, it's fine, this is what you need to do, it'll come in waves. Unfortunately, like, this is just grief. But what can I do for you? Do you want me to ring you every day? And I said, oh, we'll just do every other day, and then I've kind of got something to go work towards. I am going to be forever scarred around pregnancy, and I will never ever enjoy a pregnancy in my life, which is sad. We weren't carriers of Edwards, it was just one of them things, unfortunately. So when we fell pregnant in the June, July last year, I got in touch with the midwife straight away and said, like, can we get an early scan? I just need to know things are okay. this time round I don't want to have a private one, I want a proper one. And she said, unfortunately, they don't offer early scans. So I got in touch with the second bereavement midwife and said we were pregnant again. Please, can we do anything? Like, can we have a scan? She organised us one for 8 weeks. So it was a 4-week wait, but that was enough. Like, that's all I needed. And her just doing that was just amazing. Until he was born, I never believed we would have a live baby. They induced us to help with my anxieties, which was good of them. I didn't really know we could do that. We spent 9 months not believing we'd bring a baby home. So when you brought a baby home that was alive, I was like, oh my God, what do we do now? Just such a happy baby. And we've just, it's obviously like completed us.